Greetings, everyone. Dr. Annette West, Publishing Pusher here. Thanks for joining me. In the Jet Name, Publishing, talking all things books. Yes, the operative words, all things. I'm excited you're here. You listen in, share your thoughts. You don't have to be live on the screen to be able to talk. And I want you to know your success is my business. I'm here to assist you, support, empower, inspire as we pull out those thoughts to get these books accomplished. Thanks again for joining me.
Hi again, everybody. Dr. Annette West. How you doing? How are you doing? It's another day, another week for our Talking All Things books. Yes, we come together, whatever questions and comments you have and you want to share, you can do it here. We are here to answer questions, pull resources, whatever it takes to help us to build our writing, books, publishing entity, whatever is required, whatever is required. I'm excited, excuse me, I'm excited about coming in and offering my services to you. And I welcome you to this space. As I've said, each week, we never know who's going to show up, but you know who will be here unless we have a break. Last week, we were on break, but I am back this week. If you have not gone to the YouTube channel, my goodness gracious, Jetnay Publishing. We started, I believe, back in May doing this talking all things books sessions on Thursday mornings. If you've missed them, you can go to Jetnay Publishing on YouTube. That is my channel, one of my channels. You can go there and you can listen to the prior videos. And I'm also excited to say that the Publishing Pusher podcast that I am doing, I've worked with Jerry Royce. He may pop in today, but he's been in several weeks. He has a really large conglomerate of podcasts, television shows, and different things, radio, different things going on. So even though I typically run my own Dr. Net Publishing Pusher, Jerry runs it on Monday. So he's replicating, getting the content out on his networks. And I just got my report maybe a week or so ago, and then the information looks really good. So good things are happening. People are listening. So that's a good thing. So I'm out there, as my S3 model says, showing up, speaking out, and sharing what's in my toolbox. So I just came in from, not literally came in because it's cold outside, but I am inside my house, but I just stepped back from watching the Thursday morning 10:30 session that I also have on the network on decal25.com in Georgia, where my biblical teaching is shared in that session. So we're showing up. I'm showing up. Are you showing up? Are you doing the things that you need to do for your success? Because let me tell you, it's not just going to happen, okay? We want it to come forward, but if we don't do the work, it's not going to happen. So check us out. We have some good content for you. Good content. Good stuff. I've been going back and listening myself, and I was like, oh, this is good stuff. This is good stuff. So I want to welcome today Joy Katanga Dabo, Melvise from Written Word Publishing, and Anna Roseborough as well, and put it on galleries. Everybody can be on the stage, and you can, if your mic is closed, that's fine. If you decide you want to open your mic, that's fine. If you want to talk with your mic, with your picture off, that is fine. That is fine. I'm just glad that you're here because guess what? I would just be doing it by myself and doing what I got to do. So how is everybody doing? Y'all see, I'm excited. I'm excited because it's another Jesus day for me, okay? I just happen to wake up in this day. So I just get excited because I am in the day. So feel free to open up and share with us what's going on in your world. Everybody don't have to fight for the mic. But there's a lot of things going on. A lot of things going on, which is a great thing. I know Miss Anna is working on her manuscripts to get them in a series, a movie, or something. And we know that that is a time-consuming process. But guess what, people? If we don't put our hands on it, and if we are not intentional and committed to it, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So let me tell y'all about a good thing that happened for me. Y'all be like, it happened for you. Okay. So a few of you may know that I signed up for this publishing academy. I've been following these people maybe for about 5 or 6 years, watching what they've been doing, attending some of their workshops. So I decided it was time for me to stretch myself. Why? Because I'm always doing for other people. And we've talked about this before. I'm doing books for other people. I'm coaching other people. I'm taking people through, foundational writing classes and boot camp and all of these things. But in the process of doing all of that, I put my own personal writing on hold. So I don't consider that the devotionals that are being done, that have been done for the last 4 years, and in 2025 will be the 5th one. And I'm believing that's going to be the final in that series. And then the Lord is going to have me move to something else, but they will also be collaborations. Collaborations, I believe, are very, very important. So I don't, even though I've put that content together for all of those who are part of it, and maybe write a devotion, occasionally 2 devotions in it, that's not the bulk of the type of writing that I do. And of course, before I started doing the collaborations, I had written several books. So when I signed up for this academy, I did not know that, I signed up to be challenged. Yes, I did. But I did not know that one of the challenges was going to be so challenging. And what was that challenge? If anybody's been seeing anything that I posted on Facebook with asking people about the title of a book and asking people to look at the covers, possible covers for the book, then you know what I'm talking about. So a part of this, after I got my coach, is to do a 7-day challenge. And this challenge was to write a book and publish it within 7 days. Now, I've done it in a month. And it was a very taxing experience for me. But the challenge of writing a book in 7 days, it was definitely a major challenge. What I found is we are capable of doing so much more than we actually do. Why? Because I completed the challenge. Because I was challenged. Of course, I was praying every day, of course, asking the Lord to make sure I was doing this right and doing this right. Why? Because what I normally do and what they do has some little curves in it. So I was like, okay, close my mind to what I'm used to doing and just put that on hold for just a little bit and let me focus on the way they want to do things, since I'm a part of this program, right? So the book is done. I'm just waiting for KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing, had one little issue with a corner of the book. So hopefully I will take care of that today and submit it back. But the book is done. And the book is already going to KDP. And the book is nothing complicated. The book is titled Easy Indoor Gardening Guide. Easy Indoor Gardening Guide. That's the title of it. And the subtitle is Grow herbs and vegetables to feed your family. Now, why did I choose that topic? I could have chose so many other things. One of the things they said was, think about something that maybe you were interested in and you want to learn about. Think about something that you enjoy doing and write about that. So those of you who follow me know that I'm always posting in my holistic wellness group and on Instagram about my garden, my outdoor garden, my indoor garden. So this book is about the indoor gardening. And I am excited. I did have a few people to review it. Hey Frederick, they said they really like the content in it, the flow of it, and they like the cover of it. Now, when we're talking about covers, one thing we know, when we start out with a cover, it probably never ends up like the cover that we started with. But we do what we do, right? So I'm going to show you a copy. I'm going to share my screen real quick, just so that you can see the copy of the book. Wait a minute. Let's see. Let me close that back. Okay, can you see this? Can you see the picture?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is what I wound up having. Now, this was not the entire picture that was in my Facebook group. On the Facebook group, I just had the title, the picture, and it was just on a white book. It was just like a white book. Do you know how boring a white cover is unless you do something to it, right? So I said, okay, most of the people that are probably going to buy this book are going to be females, because mostly female. Well, I have a lot of guys that follow me, but they may not be into indoor gardening. Okay. So I had to create a border around. I could not find the border that I wanted. So what did I do? I found a line and colored it the way that I wanted it. And then I had to put 4 lines on the frame and connect them. And if it didn't look like the cover on those corners was quite right, I put a mint leaf on each one. So that's why that cover is there. But what it did was it gave some volume to the cover of the book. So I want you all to, you've heard what I've said thus far. And listening, this video will actually wind up being on my Publishing Pusher podcast. So that means anybody who's listening on the podcast and hears me talking about a picture, if you want to see it, then go to the YouTube channel and pull up that video where you will be able to see the picture. So feel free to open your mic and show yourself if you choose to, and let me know what you think about this final picture.
Well, this is Melvise. That is really nice. Really nice, very creative. It just goes to show that, if you put your mind to it, you can make it happen. But how did you find time to write a whole entire book in 7
Oh my
days?
gosh,
That's what I want to know.
I'm gonna tell you, Melvise. So some of us have content that we have been working on for years, right? A lot of the content in here I knew. It was on my Facebook page, my Holistic Wellness Facebook page, some clips and things. It was workshops that I have done, some of my conferences where we talked about gardening and holistic wellness. So I went and pulled all of that content and then built on it. So I was blessed that I had some content to start with. And then because I already had some content, I'm going to throw in here, people, because we have been talking about how we can use AI to benefit our process. So what I did, I went to AI and I said, hey, I'm writing a book about indoor gardening. And I want to focus on herbs and vegetables. I need 12 possible chapter titles that I can review for this book. So that was the first thing I did. I went on, I asked for 12 chapters. I only used 7 of the chapter titles in the book with adjustments. And then I built my content that I had into those chapters. And then once I had built my content into those chapters, I went and did a Google search, looking for other content, looking for resources, looking on my shelf to see what my books were, and in the process, creating my own reference sheet as well as I was going along. And so that's how I built. I actually wrote the content over 3 days. The first day, because it's a small book, it's only 7,200 words. So it's, when I finish, it's a book of 80 pages. A small book, one of the probably 2 smallest books I've ever written. The other book, if you want to know, is called 23 Days in the Book of Isaiah, and it was a devotional. So this is not a large book, nowhere near what I normally do, but it's a valuable tool. There is depth in it. I mean, anybody getting this book it is a very simplified, and I've given tools in the book. I did a glossary in the book. So I pulled all the words that I had already had, and then I asked AI to help me to put it into a glossary. And then they gave me a glossary, and then I took the glossary, and I didn't let them put it in alphabetical order. I put it in alphabetical order myself, because I didn't want them to have that alphabetized list in there, right? And then I went back and I said, I have quite a few terms for my glossary. Are there other terms beyond anything that you've shared with me that may be of interest to me in this book? And if there is a source or reference for it, citation, let me know. So it gave me a list in AI of other sources and where I could find them. Then I went to the internet. I went to do another Google search, and I Googled each one of those things to see what came up, to make sure it was a valid source. And then I integrated them into my reference. So Melvise, that's just a bit about what I did.
That's awesome. I like the way you explained how you use AI too, because I think a lot of authors need to realize how to use AI as a tool, not as the quote unquote author of your book. I see a lot of authors talking about, oh, I can just easily write a book with AI, but they don't realize how to use AI to their advantage as a tool. So that's a good explanation there.
Thank you, Melvise. Appreciate you. Yes,
It's
Miss Anna.
interesting, Dr. West, how you're talking about you're using AI. Some of you know that I've been away for a couple of weeks from our weekly program. And one of the reasons was that I was in Boston for the National Council of Teachers of English. And many of the workshops address the issues of students using AI to support their learning. And in fact, my daughter, who teaches at Grand Valley State University, presented a session, AI as your friend, not your foe. It's not so much that they're using AI, that they are encouraging students to confirm what they're learning, but also to use it as a tool, not as a substitute for thinking. Those of you who work with authors are very likely going to find that your authors are doing what Dr. West is saying. And so our question as coach is, what questions do we ask our authors about what they're doing, and remind them that they must give credit where credit is due? And it's interesting that you're doing this particular book, because one of my latest clients is writing a book on holistic living, combining, is Christianity and holistic living contradictory kind of thing? And one of the things she admitted from the very beginning was that she put her information into AI and they spat it out. And we're going to be working with this. So if you find me consulting what you're doing as an idea of how I can help support her, that's the reason. She asked for this help and admitted that she used AI for part of it. And the last thing is one of the other books that I happen to be contributing to, our editor asked us to provide a 500-word bio. And at the end of it, she said, just upload your CV into chat GTP and see what comes out. And in less time than it took me to hardly upload the CV, out spat the bio. And so we just need to be prepared for this. It's here. And as we encourage people to use it, use the tools with integrity, I think we're going to be okay. But again, thank you for sharing your journey with this and the fact that it's going to help me with the coaching that I'm doing. Thanks again.
A part of, Joy, you good?
I'm good, thank you. I just want to say I love the cover. You asked a question about our feedback. I love the cover, the green and the red. It makes it really holistic, and the title is very catching. A guide to growing herbs and vegetable to feed your family. I love that. It can attract to anyone, whether they're thinking about just being cared for the family, or actually care about, growing some vegetables for their family. Knowing you, I'm sure there are hints for both of them of how to grow the vegetables and how to care for the family. So it's a win, and I love the diversity that you didn't just put the green for the tomato. I think I see a basil. Is it basil? I don't know if
Yes.
you can scroll it up just a little bit. I think I
Yeah.
saw another herb in the picture. So that was
Yes.
that was good thing right there, and not just putting one. So thank you. That's it. I love it.
Thank you. So I'm excited about this because this is something that's been in the background of my mind, and I will be doing at least 2 more books about this size that will be easy breezy for people. And one is going to be on the aeroponics, which is something that I do because I have an indoor tower garden and I want people to become familiar with that. And so you heard me say I asked for 12 chapters, right? I asked for 12. I worked with 7 of the chapter titles, adjusted them, changed them around where I wanted them in the book, right? But I added a bonus chapter in the book, and it's an introduction to aeroponics. So therefore, the next book will be basically the same, but with a different picture. And it will say Easy Aeroponic Gardening, a guide to grow herbs and vegetables to feed your family. And then I'll do my outdoor garden book. So it will be 3 books when it's all said and done. So, I always talk about you don't have to recreate the wheel. And if you can expand and add something else. So like for this, just giving you an idea, I can redo this cover. And the only thing I need to change is from indoor to aeroponic, right? And the picture on the front of the book. This is the only thing that needs to change for the cover of the book. The back of the book, depending on what's there, may wind up being the same. I might be sharing the same perspective, except we're talking about the aeroponic garden. So when you're creating something, try to think, what can I do beyond this? Because I don't believe anything that we have is just one thing that you can do with it. Any comments? So I'm going to close this, and I want to get back to what Miss Anna was saying is that she has a client who actually used AI to write a book. Okay. So let's talk about using AI. No. Go ahead, Miss Anna.
Let me insert here. She did not use AI to write the book. She did what you did.
Okay.
She took her journals, she took her information she's already written.
Okay.
and uploaded it and asked for guidance for that. So let me clarify that from the beginning. It's not writing her book, it's helping her to organize it.
So what I would have done, just food for thought, Miss Anna, as you are dealing with clients who are thinking about this, if they have a lot of content, I would also tell them, don't upload all your content. Load only a piece from each section. You don't want all your content in AI, okay? Because AI is just going to regurgitate it and give it to somebody else when they ask a like or similar question or set of questions. So if you have 1,000 words, only put 500.
Right. She had done that before she contacted me.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so we're moving forward, because when I asked her about the voice, and that's when she told me, oh, I uploaded this into AI. But being alert and being able to advise future clients of what you're mentioning about how much to upload at a time and how it helps protect our own original material. Thanks for that caution.
Yes. And when we're looking at AI, a lot of people are using this Chat GPT, and it's free. Okay, if it's free, even though it's doing some good things, you know it's not going to do it at the volume that you really need it done. If you really want to put out the best books and use AI, Chat GPT as a tool, purchase the paid version. It's $20 a month. It's $20 a month, people. You're going to get a higher quality of content. You're going to have more options with that higher quality of content. Because remember, it says free. Free has what? Major limitations to it. So use the free, but if you're really trying to put forth your best, go to the next level. So I don't know if I shared this week before last when I was on here, but I'm going to say it again. Or I might have been sharing it in my women's group. I am teaching a strategic HR, human resource management course. I have 8 students in that course. And they've been working on pieces every week that I review and give them feedback. What I noticed in the draft that they submitted that I graded last week, they were not going back looking at my comments from the prior pieces, because I know exactly what I told a student, what to adjust, what to look at, blah, blah, blah. So what I did, I put in extra time on this, okay? Because I want my students to be successful and I want them to be honest and ethical. So I ran their drafts in Grammarly Pro, where I have the option to run a plagiarism and AI report. And I ran a report on all 8 of my students' papers. And then with the information that I got in their reports, I gave them a detailed response from the professor saying that I reviewed, and these were outcomes, and I condensed my wording, and I said it would behoove you to go back through and all of the areas that are being addressed, every area that I have highlighted, it is your responsibility to ensure that those are actually your words, because AI is not saying that it's not, but it's saying that it looks very similar to other content. And it's giving me sources. So I gave them the sources where that content came up. So I wasn't telling them that it wasn't their information, but now I did remind them, we are in academia. Just like when you were doing your research for internet resources, sources all over the internet, ProQuest and all of these different platforms that you could get resources. You could not just put that content in your document and say it was yours, because it would be considered what? Unethical. It would be considered as academic dishonesty. So I was saying all of this to them. So I said it is your responsibility to go and ensure that all of this content is actually your words reword it, cite it, give the source credit, put it in your reference, because I will be running this again on the final review. And the final review will be the determining factor as to the final grade that you get on this. So I think I did more than enough work to help them to be successful. That's all I can do. So now it's up to them to take my insight and go and do it. So why am I saying that? Because it's the same for us. In academia, typically, and schools may vary, but typically it's 15 to 25% of the content in your document can be sourced, can be from other creditable resources, okay? Can be references, can be journals, can be articles, can be newsletters, can be websites, can be whatever. So only 15 to 25%. Now, this particular school has a maximum 20. So I said, okay, you aren't supposed to have more than 20% of content in your work, but you want to work to have even less than that. You can do it if you will take the time. Look at the highlighted areas. Look at the resources. If you can put it in your own words, meaning that you understand what you wrote, do that and give the source credit. So I believe I've helped my students immensely to be successful. So I will be watching for next week when I grade their final papers, if they actually took the advice that the professor gave them. Any comments?
Yeah, I think that that is excellent advice. On top of the fact that when you take a source and just try to use it verbatim, it's not the same tone as your voice. So if you're reading the book, you can get to that point and you can easily see this author did not write this because the tone is totally, totally different. Totally different. I don't think people realize that. You have to take it and put it in your own words. I've told a few of my authors that a few times when I'm, going through that book or editing, I get to a point I'm like, I know you did not write this. It's so easy to see. Yeah, that was
Yes.
good advice.
We all have our own voice flow. That is correct. Thank you, Elise.
One of the things that I suggest you consider before they turn the next papers in, ask them for a cover letter explaining in 200 words or less what did to improve this paper. This will keep you from having to recall all that you wrote. By them writing that to you, you can look at just those. Otherwise, it's going to take you another 18 weeks to check all the stuff that they could have done. Whereas if they, in a cover letter, Dr. West, first, thank you for the comments that you gave me on my last paper. Here are 3 things that I did to address those issues. And then as you're reading them, focus on those. Other things may come to mind, but for them to admit that they have done some revision and point out to the places, it may save you a little time as you're moving on to the next step.
Yeah, especially if I have a larger class. Eight students is great. I don't think I've ever had more than 12 students in a graduate class, especially when it comes to the capstone, because it's every week you're looking at content and giving feedback. Yes.
So the rest of us are used to working in college classes of 20 to 33. And so we have to come up with efficient ways to do what you're doing for your 8 students.
Yes. Well, see, when you're over in the business arena, over in the business arena, yeah, is a variance. But yeah, so good stuff. Any final comments today? Let me close this document. I had something else I wanted to share before. Did I delete? Did I close it? Oh my gosh. Okay, here it is. All right. So I wanted to just share this information. If anybody is using KDP, they have 3 new author tools. Has anyone seen this? Okay, so just so you know, so if you have clients that are doing their books and posting them to KDP, they have 3 new tools to boost your book sales. One is, and they're all free. All 3 is free, so that you can, so you know, people can do better, have a more quality product. One is a book description generator. I used the book description generator. It was wonderful. I put in my parameters and it gave me a wonderful book description. I told them how many words I wanted. And then I took that book description and then I reviewed it. I changed sentences around. I adjusted words because it was my content. They just fine-tuned it, which is a good thing. So I didn't take it just the way it came out, even though what they had was good, but I needed to make some adjustments. So just know that that is available. You also have the ability to choose your font sizes. You can choose bullets in it. And then there's some other features as well. And then the second thing is they have the Amazon sales rank calculator, and you can use the calculator to find out how much money authors are making with their books. So you can see what other authors are making on their books. So you just enter in a book's Amazon bestseller rank, and presto, you can see their potential sales. See, this is very important because we need to know what the comparative analysis is of others who have similar products that we have. Miss Anna, go ahead.
Just want to encourage us as authors ourselves and those of us who are coaching to avoid the least expensive font and paper. I'm currently reviewing a book for one of my mentees, and this was a professional author, publisher, who used too small a print, too narrow a print, and they did it on the not the smooth paper, and it is frustrating to read a book. And we can know that it was probably chosen because it was less expensive to use a narrower font, but it's very frustrating to read. So just because it's cheap doesn't mean it's good.
That's good, Miss Anna. Very good. So going back to the Amazon sales ranks calculator, you definitely want to get that information. You're working on a book. You really want to do some research before you even decide that that's the book that you're going to do. You want to go and see what other books are out there. You want to see what their rankings are. And that information is freely available. You can see how many books you need to sell to rank number 1 for a category. They have information on that as well. You can also see the potential resources that you can generate for a book or a particular niche. And then the third thing they have added is author social media hashtag generator. So if you're on Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, or TikTok, you can use the right hashtags and how that can make a difference. So typically, sometimes we may come up with hashtags that a zillion people already got. Guess what? Most people are not going to catch you in the mix of that. So it's a free tool. These are free tools that are available for us. So I just wanted to mention that before I end it today. Any final comments for us as we begin to wind down? Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate you greatly. And remember, you can go to YouTube to Jetnay Publishing and you can review all the prior videos that have been posted. I believe since May is when we started doing the Talking All Things books. Thank you so much, Miss Anna, Joy, Melvise from Written Word Publishing. I appreciate you all, and I will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.